All right, folks, welcome to the next installment of the Dismount Podcast. And today we are talking problem solving. Why is listening so important? So today's outline, real quick, is going to be what is a problem and what does general problem solving look like for you? Are there any methods that you use? Do you enjoy problem solving? Are we born to solve problems and or create ones to solve? What areas of problem solving have you excelled at lately? How important do you think problem solving is to learning? Which type or instance of problem solving are you most proud of? And then last but not least, what is something you can do to get better at problem solving? Or is there something you want to share to help others increase their skills? So, what is a problem for you? To me, a problem is really, it can be anything in my personal experience, whether that be mental, physical, spiritual, production, creation, destruction to me can also be a problem. Like, how are we going to tear down this building? Oh, we got to put this, C4 here. We got to put this dynamite here. And that's going to bring down, Three River Stadium perfectly where we're not messing up any of the other buildings on the north side,
Yeah.
that type of stuff. That can also, to me, be a problem of how are you going to solve that? So I think that there are problems that arise in just about anything that you do. And for me, I like to look at problems as if they are puzzles. And I think, how am I going to solve this puzzle? And then in that instance of how am I going to solve this puzzle, example that I was thinking of was changing the brakes on your car. And you pull off the tires and, well, shit, I just busted a bolt. Got to go get a new bolt, run to the store, come home. Oh, shit. Now I got to take off the emergency brake. Wait, you need a special tool to take this off right now? Ah, crap. Back to the store. And you just do that on and on and on until you're like 14 puzzles deep that you've now solved.
Oh,
and
God.
it's like, all right, now it's time to pull the brakes off, the brake pads off and put new brake pads on. Holy hell. What have I done to get to this place?
Yeah.
You just keep opening up this new can of worms for yourself of just this to this to this to this to solve this one thing that you were trying to do down here at the very beginning of everything.
Yeah. Because there's the surface level. And then it's like, okay, well, what's the actual issue? There's like, okay, I need to change my brakes. And now it's like, that's the surface level problem. Then you get into like, okay, now there are all these sub problems that happen along the way. And that keeps me away from trying to solve problems a lot of the time. I'll just live like this. I'm okay.
How about you, Tip? What is a problem for you?
So problem for me, it's funny, you took one of the words out of my mouth, challenge or a puzzle. And it's hard for me to pull back and be like, don't talk about that. Save that for later. A puzzle for me to be able to see what all is in my way of achieving a goal. And for me, I find it exciting. Like I find some problems exciting. Certainly, if it's over my head, not that great, kind of frustrating, but I do enjoy that process of unfolding, peeling back the layers, seeing what's in front of me. And I think about it from the example you're citing. There's a guy, he was hired to fix this giant boat, and we'll say it was like a barge or something. So he's hired to fix it. He comes in, takes one look at everything, goes back, grabs his hammer, walks down into like their boiler room, and then he bangs in the very specific spot, boom, the boat's fixed. $300,000 bill or something like that.
Jeez.
Or like 100,000. They're like, you were in there for 5 minutes. He goes, I understand that. But good luck finding someone else who's able to solve that problem.
Called in the expert.
Yeah. The only reason I know that is because 30 years worth of experience, we'll just say 30.
Yeah.
But I know that because of 30 years worth of experience, I know exactly where to hit, when to hit, how to hit, and how hard to hit. So I know the exact information. That's what's, we'll say, $300,000. Not just my time. It's all of my knowledge that you're paying for. So for me, solving a problem, a puzzle, a challenge is peeling back the layers, trying to understand exactly what's ahead of you. And for me, I'll often use the scientific method for that. And here I have it outlined: observation, question, hypothesis, experimentation, analysis, conclusion. And then once you have the conclusion, either storing it for next time or sending it along to the next person. Every problem I solve, somehow it is some variation of the scientific method.
Imagine writing a thesis on why you're fat.
Well, you see, Taco Bell has a special going on right now. There it is. That's our Taco Bell reference for the day.
Dong. You ever use the app for Taco Bell? Man, that is a dangerous game. But anyway, so for me, the problem solving is a problem in general for me is just when something is off. Obviously, like my car is squealing. Obviously, right now, that's a problem. Like, okay. And it's funny you mentioned the expert because like sometimes like that's what it takes. Like you don't have to take every problem on by yourself. Like that person, 30 years experience, all that stuff. Like lean into that expert. Call in the expert. If I'm having relationship issues, like talk to my parents or something. They've been in millions of relationships. They've been doing it for a lot longer than I have. Like that's okay. But I guess like on the basis of problem is just for me when something feels off. And it's always interesting like what the surface level problem might be, but what the actual like issues at hand are. I feel like sometimes those are two different things. Like the car's pretty clean cut, but like think about like yesterday, my girlfriend and I got frustrated at each other like when we were getting ready to go out. We had a great time, but like it wasn't that we were frustrated at each other or we weren't bickering over something that like actually held weight in our relationship. It was just like a symptom of the actual problem, which was like we didn't get a lot of quality time together this week. We're kind of just coexisting, and then we went out and had a great time and we feel a lot better for it. But like it's fun to see like, hey, there's a surface level problem, but then understanding like, cool, now I have to take the step back and actually like, and for me it's tough because a lot of the problem solving, it's immediately like panic mode. Like it turns into like I'm acting out of emotion, and that is, in my opinion, the worst way to handle a problem is to act out of emotion. It's like it's really tough because then you say things you don't mean, you do things you don't mean. It really can add up for sure. So what I have seen where I can solve problems the best is when I'm able to remove myself from the situation, try like reestablish that, try to take a step back and like almost take yourself out of the issue. Like if I was giving this advice to somebody else, what would I recommend to them? That's so much easier to approach than me trying to like solve everything that involves me and the emotions tied into it because it's my fucking issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because emotion is just energy in motion. So if you're not calculating where that emotion's heading towards, like, okay, so I'm putting emotion behind this problem because like, oh shit, like I'm very serious that I want to accomplish this. I want to do this. But if it's just like, I'm just going to start spewing energy and motion at all this shit without it being calculated, you know, I'm going to actually devise a plan to put my passion behind solving this versus just pew, 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 just shooting off like wildfire, you know, just all over the place. Yeah, dude, I feel you on that like no other.
Yeah, it's like when they talk about fighting like alien spacecrafts and how like the thought process was, well, if we found one, what would you do? And you'd want to reverse engineer it to find out how they created that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny to think about like problems that way too. Like, okay, here I am in my bowl of shit. I'm now in problem mode. Okay, step back. How did I end up in this pile of shit? Okay, let's work it back. Okay, I did this and this led me here, and then this decision and the way I acted here. Okay, I can see where I kind of went wrong and got me to the sum of the issue, which I think has helped me being able to take that not only removing yourself from the situation or taking that step back, but also like really thinking not just maybe what happened on like one blow up in a relationship or one bad day at work, but like what are those symptoms that kind of built up along the way or whatever it may be.
Yeah, because general problem solving for me, if I'm putting way too much emphasis behind it, then I'm probably not going to find the right. I've fallen victim and I've needed to find good balance in how much weight I'm putting on solving this versus how much time I'm actually spending to accomplish that goal. So like for me, general problem solving, and especially for like the career that I've been leading in engineering for how long, I've always found the problem, and then was like built like a Venn diagram almost of just, okay, well, I could do this, or this. So what would that stem to? What would all 4 of those stem to? Oh shit. Okay. So now I've stemmed 4 out to another 8. All right. So now I've taken 8 down to another 16. Like, hold up, dude. Like, you could have just picked 2 ways to potentially look at this. And then how much time have you spent just over analyzing instead of actually start putting some action, to the ground and seeing potential progress versus I'm just going to sit here and be in my head and not actually put any action or even accomplish anything. Like, I could have been, we talked about the break situation of, you open up 5 more cans of worms and trying to do one task that you think is going to be simple. Okay. Would it have been easier for me to just allow those other potential things to come up versus sit here and try to say, I have figured out all the potential shitstorms that I could experience, and I'm going to pick this avenue because this might have the least amount. Then you do that, and it's like, oh, I just experienced 5 more shitstorms that I wasn't even thinking about after I spent the last 3 days over analyzing this problem, I think that for me, like, general problem solving and are there any methods, like, I break down the problem. I try to find those different avenues that I could take. What could be the potential things that stem off of there? Then I prepare already for like X, Y, and Z to happen. And it's like, dude, you just went into a whole different alphabet because you planned A through Z that could potentially happen, and now you're on double A.
Oh man.
And you're just like, what the fudge, dude? Like, for you, Tit, what is I would say, in terms of like, do you enjoy problem solving? Is that something that is like your cup of tea?
I would say I very much enjoy problem solving and puzzles, challenges. It also depends. Like, I like it when it's playful and not stressful. Like, I like to, if I see imminent problem happening, preferably, I think most people would probably relate to this. Preferably, I would like to try to slow the problem or the situation down. Like, if I can, I don't know, if I can take other variables and eliminate them just so I could slow everything down, I could look at it, like, spread it out, see with a microscope under it, and try to almost see, like, all right, is something obstructing it from moving forward? Is there something I can view that is going to hold it back from getting to the goal that I want? Or is there something that's going to help move it forward to the goal I want? Like, how do these things operate in tandem? What variables are impacting the process or the thing that I want to change? And we'll just use traffic flow as an example. I'll think about, like, okay, in my line of work, it's similar to my previous line of work of machining. Don't let the ball stop. Like, you want to keep everything moving. So for me, I have different avenues that I can rely on. And I'm like, okay, I have way too many people coming into this certain area through this certain entrance, and then I'm going to try to spread it out. Or if there's too many people coming into this volume and it's going to cause a safety hazard, then I'm going to try to channel everything into certain places or exits, certain places or entrances, and all the traffic is being redirected, so that we can cut down on all the safety hazards and we can try to make sure that everybody can come in and come out. People will get frustrated, and I'll have like a cost like analysis of people complain in my industry no matter what, but try to keep the complaints to minuscule, almost dumb things to complain about, like, oh my gosh, I had to stick my hand out the window. This is terrible. Like, oh, well, what do you expect? But I try to eliminate as many variables as I can, slow everything down, spread it out, consult, and then I might have said it already, but try to put under a magnifying glass. I want to try to pick and pull variables. So I want to say, like, oh, what happens if I change this thing? Oh, that's going to make it worse. Okay, dial it back. And I'll try to have an isolated setting to try to see, okay, well, what's going to happen here? And we'll use cars and gates as an example. I'm going to cone off the front and the back so I can simulate a car. I don't want to test it when a car's there. Like I want to test it before we have a live field example. But if something's happening, we'll use Steelers as a good example for bottlenecking for traffic flow. When I start to see everything build up, I'm looking at off ramps, on ramps, and I'm looking at different things. I go, okay, it's about to pick up. All right, we have one person here, one person here. Technically, it's not the time that I can afford to do, like open everything up. I'll start making some calls. I'm like, before I get the city police to call me and say, hey, everything's backing up. You guys need to open everything up. I'm already calling my employer like, hey, everything's about to hit the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Can I proceed? I'll usually get like a green flag. I'm like, okay, we're in go mode. We'll tell people, all right, you gotta be limited when you come in, and then get everything moving. And then I might even have like, I call it pressure valves. When you deal with, we'll say in my line of work, we'll say for the Steelers, you have, we'll call it 55,000 seats. I don't know how many, but 55,000 seats, 6,000 parking spots. Then you have to get real interesting on how you can get everybody in there. And then you have to get real selective. One problem you invite, if people come too early, they're going to trash your lot. They're going to get drunk, all these different things. But you also don't want to bottleneck and hold the whole line of the North Shore backed up. You kind of want to spread it out so that you can kind of rob Peter to pay Paul. And then that way, you can make sure that everything runs smoothly. Technically for us, I don't want to get too in depth of all the little idiosyncrasies, but I'm trying to make sure that I can cut down on the bigger problems and solve the problems that are in front of me, so I can keep everything moving. And basically, I'm just trying to lubricate everything to make sure that everything can keep moving. So in that instance, for that particular example of problem solving, I'm kind of bending the rules in different places, because in my line of work, I have like 30 different parties of people to please. And I understand I'm not going to hit every single zone perfectly, but I can hit a happy medium on the majority of them. And then I can keep everything moving.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets a little bit complicated. It's like a bunch of tiny gears that all grab each other, and all of the gears don't exactly agree on what's the right thing to do. Yeah. So I'm the guy who's like, okay, I'm going to find the most happy mediums I can so all the gears work in sync.
Yeah. Thank God you're the king of lubrication.
I was going to say, I've heard Titty's a master lubricator.
Yeah, self-lubricating, actually.
Self-lubricating.
Yeah.
So I'm a self-lubricator.
Yeah.
Taco Bell makes that happen.
Oh.
Dong.
Dong. Oh, man.
You like problem solving
No,
over there?
I don't.
I was going to say, I feel like we're going to go the
I
other side of the spectrum here.
I like other people's problems. You want me to fix your life? I'm fucking on board, dude. You want me to fix my own? Mm-mm.
Damn.
Mm-mm. No. I mean, I think it just stems back into like what Brandon said is you got to get into that gamifying life mentality. I know I'm not a big fan of that. Like, my life is not a game. Thank you. But on the other side of it, it's like you have to make it fun. Like, problems are inevitable when it comes to life. Like, the sooner you accept that, the better off you are. Is that, like, there's going to be negatives in your life. It's literally part of life. It would be boring if there were no problems. As much as I'd like to tell myself that, it's, if I choose to believe is a different thing. But that actually stems into like why I kind of think I enjoy solving other people's problems instead of my own. Like, I know how much harder it is, and it is completely your duty to get out of whatever shit you find yourself in. But I mean, on like the sides where I found it as a positive, like it is a cool way to be innovative. Like that's definitely the healthy side of it. I surprise myself a lot of the time. Like, and it's crazy how many problems you have that can be fixed with like maybe not the brake situation, for instance, but like you could have this problem that, oh God, I'm trying to think of like literally anything, but you think of like chores around the house or something that isn't going right, and you're like, oh, I guess I gotta stare at that for the next like 6 months and think, oh man, I wonder how long that would take for me to do. And then you do it and it's 5 minutes and it's done. You're like, shit, I waited 6 months to do this and it took 5 fucking minutes. It's tough, man. But like I think that what it does is like it does reinforce growth. It does reinforce like you are capable of handling your own problems. And what's empowering is that the problems that you create are usually caused by you, and you have just as much power to solve those problems, if not more, than you did to put yourself in that same situation. So that's kind of where I lean into it. I find it to be empowering. I find it, as I change my mentality towards like failure, like trying to embrace failure and understand, again, that's a point of life too. That means you're growing. That means you're doing the right thing. So when problems arise, like it used to be like, something's wrong. What did I do? Like that victim mentality type situation. But on the other side, you look at it like, okay, maybe it's not that I did something wrong. Maybe it's just something that I'm supposed to learn. And I know you've been a proponent of that towards me specifically.
Oh,
Yeah, you brought that up. Like, oh, why is it got to be something's wrong? Why can't it just be you're learning something? And I go, shut the fuck up, Zach. Shut up, Zach. No one wants to hear that, Zach. But I think as I continue to lean into it, I think that the best advice I can give myself is just embracing the problems of life and understanding that I'm more than capable of solving those types of things. It doesn't mean that I'm doing something wrong or that I'm not going down the path that I see fit for myself. It's just that regardless if you go down the right path or not, you're going to have problems. You know, it's just deciding which problems are convenient enough for you to deal with or worth dealing with at all.
do you find yourself potentially changing your relationship with problem solving?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think as I try to remove emotion out of situations and think a little more logically, I tend to want to embrace it a little more for sure. Like think of my girlfriend and like different things where we try to like handle our relationship. Like there is no place for acting out of emotion in our relationship. In most relationships, probably it doesn't seem like it's beneficial at all. So that has taught me that like, man, like either you're going to act out of emotion when a problem arises, you act out of emotion. Now you have two problems: the problem at hand, and you're an asshole. Like, okay, cool. Fuck. I did this one thing that bummed out my girlfriend, and then the way that I dealt with the situation was also wrong. Now two problems. I could have just had one. You know, I could have just had the one problem and logically took it and said, hey, maybe I fell short this time. That's okay. Let's think through this. What can I do differently the next time? And that's great. Like that's the healthy way. And that's what I've been embracing because I don't need to add more problems to my life.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you can say, okay, here's the situation. Here's how I reacted. And then you could choose to create a third problem by just either ignoring it or letting that fester, and that just continues to expand for sure.
You want to solve a problem instantaneously?
Go ahead.
You want to pull that backpack off of the vent again?
Oh, yeah, sure. It's not. It's right there.
Oh, okay. My
Yeah.
bad. I was like, damn, it's getting
And
on.
solved. No, it's because it's 93 degrees out. Any person, if I hear them and I see them in public, face to face, and they go, I just wish it was warm out. I just wish it was summer. No, you don't, dude. It's disgusting outside. It's 95 degrees. You don't wish for this. Yeah. Every person who wishes for heat, you got what you wish for. Now
they have a pool.
Yeah, they have exactly.
They have a
pool. Yeah, exactly. A boat, you know.
Or they have somewhere to get in the water to cool off.
Yeah, you know what I
have?
have?
The boat was a good one.
I have a shower.
Yep.
I got a shower and no dishwasher. And that's a problem in its own, man. It's just, hey, man, you know, someone's got to do the dishes around here.
Well, pardon my French. I thought you moved that again.
Well,
the backpack.
No, it's okay. No problem. No problem.
Problem solving, dude?
No problem. It's
no
not
problem.
A problem. No problem. I like
no
that.
Problemo.
No problem. No problemo.
I thrive on problem solving.
Yeah.
I love problem solving.
So what have you excelled in as far as problem solving?
Well, I think first off, like I in terms of problem solving, I think problem solving is probably one of the dopest skills you can build.
Yeah.
As a human being, because I think of all the most badass people that I would look up to and say, oh shit, they know how to solve problems. Oh shit, they knew how to solve all the bullshit in their life to the point where they got this dope ass house, they got a sauna. Oh my gosh, this guy's 65 years old and he's better shape than me at 30.
Yeah.
You know? And so I would say, where have I thrived? Oh, geez. The only place where I could say that I've probably thrived recently is my garden and figuring out how to build a frickin' garden that is way too big for way too small of a space in a driveway.
You know, some people get a driveway and they're like, oh, convenient parking. Some people get a garage and think the same thing. You have like a gym / garden going on and like pouring out from the garage into the driveway. And I mean, for the people who think that the garden is not too big, it takes up your entire driveway for the most part.
Basically,
You can fit a car. You were smart enough that you could still fit the car for sure, but that is not the priority of that driveway.
This is not the priority. No, we got the sauna, we got the ice bath in the garage, we got the area to be able to still do the workouts, and then we got the garden out there where you actually have to like take your bike out through a maze to get it to the car to be able to put it on the back of the car to go for a bike ride.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah.
But I figured out how to build little trellises to be able to allow things to like grow up instead of grow out onto the ground. Built a shelving on those trellises to be able to put more pots up on top of them to like save space. But I mean, some of these plants, I got 3 zucchini plants down there right now, some black beauties that are going to be like 4 foot wide here any minute. And I don't even know what's going to happen at that point. I don't know what's going to happen. That's enormous amount of space.
Getting
for
the township called on you.
Yeah, well, they already got mad about the trailer that I had in my driveway.
Wow.
They got chapped and told me I couldn't store stuff on my trailer. I had my kayaks and some bins for like the stuff that I use for like kayaking.
Yeah.
So that's why we got the dope rack out there now for the kayaks, because I got the trailer over at my parents' house.
What a shame.
Problem solved.
Well, what a shame. Problem solving, creating more problems.
Yes,
You're like, oh,
problem
solve the
solved.
problem about the kayaks. Now I got the township on my hands.
Which meanwhile, it's like, guys, I'm the only one taking a risk. Someone could steal my shit. Like, I'm the only one who's taking that risk.
We think it was a new guy or a guy who was on, or I don't want to say guy, could be a woman, could be, the inspector. She was either on their way out and trying to like, they wrote a bunch of shit to like all these people in the neighborhood, or it was a new guy, new lady coming in that was trying to make a name for themselves. Look at all these tickets I wrote first week out. I'm like, okay, you just made everybody not like you.
Yeah. Now you got a target on your back.
Problem creator.
Yeah, problem creator.
Oh, man. See, that's the title I want.
That's a missing thing we have in this one. There's no problem creator question.
Yeah, master problem creator.
Actually, you know what? Let's plug it in. Anybody know a problem creator? I can't.
Troublemaker, huh?
Yeah,
Troublemaker.
Yes.
A troublemaker. Me. Always something. That's what my dad said growing up. I'd always, and I say my girlfriend says it. It's hilarious. It's just the words. Like, again, I said it in a previous episode. If we named a documentary or like a biography flick off of me, it could just be called Always Something. I always find a way to have something going on
to complain about.
Well, yeah, and that's
I
it.
mean,
Like,
that's a
everyone
part
has
of it,
problems.
but-
I just like talking about them. It's really good fucking conversational bits, dude. I get to come up and make you listen to my shit. This is awesome.
Also, no
What are
one's
you doing?
funnier than hearing you complain
Yeah,
about problems.
yeah, what are you doing to fix it? Nothing. I need something to talk about. God,
I need distraction.
yeah, I am not entertaining or engaging if I'm not without my problems.
There's a
I would
hilarious.
say you are.
Oh, thanks, Ted. Man, what a guy.
There's a hilarious bit in our first day where I cut in to talk about how I, in perfect, epic fashion of all the rides that we've ever had, mistell you the miles, even though I always knew what the miles actually were, but I try to like make them not sound as bad. And Derry
Why don't you
just
just
goes,
be honest with me? Just tell me how many miles we have. It's not that complicated. It's not like I'm going to stop riding the bike.
Derry goes, every ride we've ever been on, you've lied to me.
You lie. You do lie. It's ridiculous. Just tell me how many miles we got left. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I think some of the
You're like, well,
times-
6 left 3 hours later. I'm like, you're like, it's only 6 left this time for sure.
the Amish one, the Amish country, the
You had
year
no clue
before,
what we were
I
getting
did not
into.
I did not know that one. I just looked at the map and it was like, oh, that doesn't look that bad. But I did know because we literally had it mapped out. Like we have the actual like full documentation of where, where London, Ohio was compared to South Charleston on the day's stuff. And I just disregarded that and was like, I think it's only like 8 or 9, man. It was like 11, but I mean, it's not that big of a difference. Look how salty he gets, dude.
Anyway,
Meanwhile, you
Where
guys are
have
talking
you
about-
excelled in problem solving then, mister?
Removing myself from people who can cause me pain.
Derek, you also excel with your cell phone. I swear the amount of time
That's not a
and
good
problem.
quality.
But like, I don't know if you've witnessed. I've definitely witnessed it plenty of times. Derek could solve a problem with his cell phone in like a minute flat.
Oh, yeah.
What am I, a fucking 10-year-old? Like, am I
You're
No,
like-
you're a private investigator.
well, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, we just ousted him, folks.
Yeah. Well.
Now everybody knows.
Public investigator.
Public. Exactly.
Public investigator.
No, I haven't done any of that recently. Unfortunately.
Yes, you did.
When?
We were just the Winter Mausoleum. Like we were standing up there, and we're like, "Who has a mausoleum like this?" This guy's got a full backstory on him, and he's in his phone for like 20 seconds. He's like, "Yeah, so this guy owned the slaughterhouse that was up on top of Troy Hill, and he owned the meat processing plant down the hill, and there was a chute." And I was like, "Dude, thank you." Like I was not gonna take the time to do that, so it was very appreciated.
Yeah, that's cool, dude.
Look how weird.
Now, if you ask me, like, hey, did you fold up that laundry you did on Thursday? Answer.
Here, let me check my phone.
Hey, Chat GPT, here's a photo of my pile of clothing. What do I do with it? Just I'm unclear of directions. Dry, wash, got that. Dry, we're all good. Take out of dryer, hurdle, but we got there.
Hurdle.
Now what?
All right, clothes are folded.
My
Now
girlfriend
what?
asked, she's like, do you, why are all your clothes in the dryer? I'm like, at least I know where they are. It's not that inconvenient to walk down the basement and get changed. Like, it's really not that bad. You know, they got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, they're out of sight, out of mind. I mean, you know, unless you need to use the dryer, of course.
That's pretty good.
So,
He's like, change a topic.
can we
Change
talk-
a
all right,
topic.
so I gotta act like I'm some fucking insane person.
Well, give Titty the floor.
No,
give Titty the floor on where he's
Okay,
excelled.
go ahead. I'll wrap it back around after. Go ahead, Brandon.
Where you can go ahead and
Keep going, dude. What do you got?
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, I think in places where I may have excelled would be like, I mean, emotional intelligence is one thing I wrote down for sure. Like, I feel like I can read situations pretty well, and that has to do with people. So like people problem solving, I feel like I excel out. Like that's literally my job, is to kind of be, and I know it's tough, and sales is supposed to be like solution oriented. Like you have a problem, I'm going to help you solve it. And when you work with businesses, like that's pretty simple to do. When you work with customers or just clients or a family or something, that could be a little tougher, like trying to tell them that they have a problem or there's a need that they have, and then try to, I don't want to say exploit it, but like, you know, hey, this is the solution I can offer you, and then see if it sticks. So I think like through my job or just knowing people or just my upbringing and you know, the stuff I went through at a younger age, I think that I have always been presented with problems. I've always had a need to fix them. And it gets a little exhausting, which is why I think in my 30s, I'm just like, oh, I don't fucking minimize as many problems as possible. Just like having like 100 tabs open on your computer. You're just like, oh, I could click this out. I'm just going to minimize it and forget it's there, you know? But I think the emotional intelligence is nice. I think something where I can like translate that into areas of life that maybe aren't people focused, like use that same energy to solve other problems that I may have, and have the confidence that like, cool, like honestly, if you can help solve problems that are people oriented, that's probably the toughest one. You know, everything else is pretty simple. I think it just goes back, and I'll just keep saying the word intention, but it's just having the intention to like want to, you know, have that success and that you know, that serotonin boost of like, oh, look what I just figured out, or like, look what I accomplished. And then actually taking a step back and acknowledging that I found a solution and being proud of that too. So I think that leaning into the ways that I have worked with people, and whether it's someone I have as a friend or a family member or through work, like definitely see the benefit in what I bring to the table in those situations. So I'm just curious how I can get that built up into other aspects of my life.
Well, how easy is it to someone, like, we'll use being at work as an example, and whether it's someone who's same level as you or lower level, and they're just like all flustered over some bullshit,
Yeah.
and they're just bitching. I can't do this because of this and this and that. And how easy is it for you to just jump on the train with them and be like, yeah, so and so sucks, that person sucks, and fuck all this shit.
Yeah.
Versus like, yeah, dude, but if you look at it from this side, like, you know, we could easily do this to this to this to like take care of that problem right now for you, and we can just bypass all that bullshit.
Well, that's why, like, again, you have to remove yourself from the situation, because, like, if I had, I'll never forget, I was like in a rut making sales, and my buddy Andy came over. He's like, "What's wrong, man?" I was like, I just suck at selling. I suck, man." He's like, "All right, let's go through your clients right now. I'll just like find someone that, you know, you think you're close to selling. We'll work on it." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "What about that person?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll call him." 10 minutes, sold him 1 ticket. I'm like, "Okay, fuck you." Ha ha, fuck you. You know, but like on the other side, it's like he had no emotion towards the situation. Like, he wanted to help me as a friend, but like that emotional tie to like the frustration and the bent up, like there's probably a couple other things going on, the way I'm feeling, like that overwhelming frustration just boils over, and it's so hard to make a logic-based decision or try to create a game plan when you're stuck in that shit. But having the I guess having the vulnerability to allow someone else in to help you fix that problem is huge. And like, you have to be okay with like the fact that you're not going to be able to solve everything on your own, and leaning into the people you have around you is incredibly important. And I think that has helped me a ton as well.
It's definitely hard to, that's ultimate Andy, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely hard to allow yourself that space where you can feel comfortable to let people in, to feel like your shit is worthy of them helping you.
Yeah, and it's also tough to just be vulnerable as a man in general. Like, you think about like a man opening up to another man and asking for help, like, is a asset that any person at our age could really, really benefit from. Like, I truly believe that, because I mean, you think like hunter-gatherer type shit, like we're out here surviving every day. And if I show you I'm vulnerable, man, like, you might try to exploit that. You might try to take advantage of me. You might think of me as a lesser man or weaker. Like, that's what I think of like on like the surface, like primate wiring type shit.
No, yeah, it's real, dude.
Yeah, but on the other side, like, as we develop as a society, but also B, as you develop as a person, you had that opportunity to understand that like you're going to have to be vulnerable eventually. You know, like you're going to have to allow people in, whether that is when a problem boils over and you've gone too far down the line and now you're just stuck, or it's, hey, like, I think I've kind of found myself down the wrong path. I respect you as a person. Do you mind taking a look at this with me?
Where do you
I'll take a
excel?
spot. I would say I excel in preparation. It's not something it's funny.
I could see that.
It's funny because in certain areas, I remember a while ago you said, I don't know if you still do it, but I remember a while ago you said that you'll get your clothes ready the night before. And that is something I could really benefit. So as much as I'm about to say I excel in these areas, just keep in mind that it's in my work areas, not in my personal life.
Yeah, I got you.
But I think I excel in preparation. So kind of similar to what you talked about with your Venn diagram of like, hey, here's all the possibilities of how it could go wrong. So for an example of one of the things I do, we had to cone off a certain area that is a throughway. But for 30 years, that was a throughway. So if you can imagine, you know, we'll just say 1,000 people visited this particular business a day. And out of those 1,000 people, probably over half of them used that throughway, and now we're going to cut it off. So I'm like, okay, if we're going to cut this off, we got to run trials. I'm going to try to find respectfully, the worst driver that I can spot. And the person was driving an Audi, and they could not. I spotted them in the parking lot. I'm like, you. I'm like, you're my guinea pig. And then I like made it the easiest possible way that you can design a like new throughway, and they messed it up. And I'm like, nope, see, can't have that way. So back to the drawing board. But things like that, you just keep preparing, because I want it when I turn my back to run as if I'm watching it. But there's different things that I've done. My trunk and my person is like a walking office and a problem problem zone. Like, I have a problem. Chances are I can fix the problem from the contents of my trunk. So my trunk is readily available, parked between all 3 points of where I work most. So one of the things I even do, if it's a crazy day and I anticipate there might be a need, I wear duct tape as a bracelet. And then it almost never fails. Every time that I wear the duct tape as a bracelet, I end up using it. So I'll walk around and I look like a crazy person, but I don't care. I'm like, yeah, sure, I can be crazy, but I'm be the person who has a crazy solution while I look like a nut. I don't care. So for me, it's all these odd little things that are stacking up and all these habits that I'm putting into place to make sure that whenever I don't have time, I'm maximizing time. So I go through and I sacrifice and spend the time early in the day and I commit to certain things, and it's almost like an investment for later. Yeah. So I'll be, okay, these things need to keep running. These things need to move. These people need to know their assignments. They need to have their posts, their responsibilities. And not just that, if they've been there before, I need to revisit those conversations, because if they're not there for 2 to 3 months and they come back and I just expect them to remember, I could shoot myself in the foot. So instead of doing that, I'll revisit those conversations, remind them what their responsibilities are, make sure everything's like laid out exactly how it should. I give timelines, I give things that are happening during the day, and then I give timelines of things ending. So then for me, in a perfect world, I actually should never get out of my office. But I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who I'm running around, and I might be doing more work than the people below me, which someone would say makes you a bad manager. Sure. But I want everyone to know on the team that I got their back, and I expect the same. So I'll make sure everything's prepped, everyone knows their assignment, revisit it, make sure that I have all the necessary pieces close by before something goes wrong. So for me, I've excelled in preparation, just in the job side. Personal life, I could do a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so work, excelled in preparation. Personal life, I still got some areas for growth.
So
Still a developing character.
You like to lead by example versus just being a barking general.
Yeah, because I don't think, I don't respect that person. If somebody's not going to come down, work on the front lines, and if they never demonstrate that they're willing to do the same thing, then I don't have as much respect for that person. And I see that departmentally too. I see out of the area I work where there's certain people, they work out of departments, but I don't see them rolling up their sleeves. I still respect them as a person, but as a worker, they've lost some of my respect.
Yeah, I look at I was watching Leverage last night, and there was an episode where this guy's like a record producer or record label owner, and he's basically manipulated all these people out of their demos and their master tracks. But he goes and he has his henchmen, goons, hold down some guy so that he can stomp on his hands to basically break his hands so that he can never play guitar again.
Yikes.
And I think to myself, that guy is the guy who I have no respect for, because, like, go beat the shit out of that guy yourself. You don't got to have somebody hold a guy down so that you can do the one act of, like, terror. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Be a man. If you want to be that sick in the head, you be that sick in the head, but don't use, like, other people to, like, you're a pansy in my book is what I'm trying to say. You're a weak man, weak character.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Brandon, thinking about the problem-solving side, how important has that been for you on the learning aspect?
I would say that you can't have one without the other. Like, you need problem-solving to learn. You need learning for problem-solving. Trial and error. Doesn't work this time? All right, try something else. Try something else. Try something else. Try something else. Boom, it worked. Then you learn, and hopefully, to me, if you're not learning, you're not solving the problem, and if you're not solving the problem, you haven't learned anything. History keeps repeating itself. It's just going to keep going until you're sick of failing and until something changes. Like, you could be sick of failing and still keep failing. Don't get me wrong. That sounds like ignorant. But you could be somebody who you're still trying to learn. You're still trying to get things through. And you just, if you're in the previous episode, we talked about strong characters. If you're the strong character, you're going to keep going until you win. Like, I don't know why my brain translates it to win or lose, but you're just going to keep pushing, and you really can't. You can't have one without the other. I don't think so.
Yeah, I took this question differently in when I first read it. I took it as how important is problem solving to learn. And I thought of it instantaneously. I was like, man, I think problem solving is something that we should be teaching kids from like a young age, like hardcore.
Yeah, and not just fucking multiplication tables.
Yeah,
like
it's like real life.
Those aren't real
experiences.
problems.
Yeah, real life experiences.
I love how like you're in grade school and your teacher go, all right, we're gonna do some problems today. I'm like, no, the real problem is my life at home.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be great skills for them to start doing.
Yeah,
because think about problem solving takes so much patience. And if everyone had more patience in this world, I think it would be a lot different of a world if we were all walking around with the ability to be able to be patient with each other.
Yeah.
Because if you have patience for problem solving, it's going to stem over to other places in your existence, in your life. So when you see that person who you're like, man, you just cut me off, you piece of shit, and not taking into consideration that they might be solving a problem of getting to the hospital to be able to see their mom dying or something along those lines. Or, I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of people who just get out of work and they're pissed and they just want to get home before the other person because they think their shit's more important, even though.
Like, what are you rushing for? You know, like, are you just in a hurry to die?
Really in a hurry to get home to whatever it is,
and then
man.
sit there and then you're in a hurry to do whatever else. Like, it's always in a hurry to do something.
Yeah, to be distracted,
Right.
to be this, to be that.
Yeah.
But I like the concept of looking at it like, what are you trying to rush death?
Yeah, what are you in a hurry for? Like, if anything, like, patience to me sticks out as something that helps you live in the present more. And I haven't even considered that. It's like, I'm thinking about going to a concert in 2 months, and if I just keep thinking about it, like, oh, I'm thinking about the concert, it's a 2-hour concert, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even living in the moment over here now. I'm just really excited about something that's going to last 2 hours and 2 months away. And if I would just be patient in like, it's going to come. I'm going to go have fun. It's going to be a great trip, great time. Like, then I can find myself just more focused on the present moment and what I have going on as opposed to what's happening down the line. And like that patience, like for like the problem solving side, I think it is so heavy for sure. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I think with problem solving, you have to be patient, you have to be smart, you have to be cunning, creative, imaginative, and also like, I just think that all of those characteristics build you into like a Superman. You know, like if you can start to develop all of those key aspects of yourself, then who honestly could knock you off your rocker? Who honestly could mess with your mind, you know, make you feel emotions or get like all emotional about something?
Right.
Nobody could do anything to you if you had all of those capabilities of being able to solve problems with just a relaxed nature of, we're going to try this. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and if you can, it is incredibly important to remove emotion from the situation, or at least be able to like control emotion.
Yeah.
For sure. Maybe not remove it, but control it for sure, because then you can just make the conscious decision of saying, hey, here's the values that I find most important in my life. And then there's nothing keeping you from just flipping that switch and becoming that person. Like a lot of people tend to believe that if you want to just be a certain type of person, then you just need to act like that person until you become that person.
Yeah.
What in my new job, like my director told me, he's like, I don't expect you to know anything right now. It's all good. You're learning. Perfectly fine. But what I would challenge you to do is think hard about what someone who's successful in this role does on a daily basis and just go do that and fail and suck at it. Like all you have to do is kind of fake it till you make it, honestly. Like there is like some people feel like, oh, I'm an imposter. I'm not that type of person. I think there's a lot of power behind just saying, this is the kind of person I want to be. I'm not going to let my brain tell me otherwise. This is the key things I'm focused on, and I'm just going to go after it and not tell myself I can't do it, not tell myself that I'm not good enough for it. I'm just going to do it and be okay with failing and understand that I have the power to get past all of that to find success.
Yeah, because your relationship with that, we've talked about it before. We're like, why do we always have to look at like, why do we have to labels? Get in the box. Like, why do we always have to compartmentalize? Like, this is good things, these are bad things. Like, why can't imposter syndrome be something that is like, okay, I am feeling imposter syndrome, but that means that I'm on the path of like, I don't feel like I'm that person. But if I keep doing all these things, I could easily become that person.
It's your fucking brain and your ego. And it's like, if I took a piece of paper and wrote down all the things I've accomplished in the last 5 years and all the things I did and didn't attach my name to it, I'd be like, that person's fucking awesome, dude. What a cool person. Look how much shit they do. Look how much cool things they got going on. Look at where they went. If you just had a resume of like the last 5 years of my life, it's like, holy shit, like this person's killing it.
Yeah.
And then you write my name at the top and I go, you know?
Screw that guy.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, but what you don't see is the pile of laundry on the 3rd floor.
No, it's still in the dryer.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, exactly. That's all. It's like 4 flights of stairs, dude. 1, 2, 3, whatever. Anyway,
So are they wrinkly when you put them on? Like when you finally get to them?
yeah, obviously.
Like, are you like
I'm
are
not
you
happy about this?
Like, are you standing in the bathroom real quick, just cranking the shower while you got the clothes on, trying to steam them out?
I take it down the dryer, I run the little spritz of water, spritz, and I throw it in the dryer for 10, 15 minutes, and the wrinkles come out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
You do the quick.
You know what? You know what would have helped?
The refresh.
If I just folded the clothing, it would be fine. Yeah.
Can we shut up about the damn clothing already?
Thinking about like problem solving and learning, in general, I think it's literally everything. I mean, it problem solving and learning kind of walk hand in hand. Like, you're not going to do everything right the first time. You might not do everything right ever, but the understanding of that, like, it's like playing the like, I don't think of Mario Party, or when you go to a hockey game, they do like the match game where it's like, okay, here's 10 cards and you gotta match the logos or whatever. Like, you don't like pick the hockey puck and the hockey stick and go, fuck, like, I'm never gonna get this right. No, you go, okay, the hockey puck is the second one on the bottom row and the hockey stick is the first one on the first row. Okay, pick 2 more. Okay, now the hockey puck's down there. Cool, I can match that. Like, you're taking only the things that matter and then moving forward with that. You're letting the bullshit aside. You can remove the emotion from the situation and just go, cool, like, I failed, but this is a key point that I wouldn't have learned if I didn't fail. And then moving forward with that information. And I think that is like incredibly important as far as learning goes, because like, you're going to fail and there's going to be problems and you're not going to get everything right. But the more momentum you can build by just like, hey, failed, but I got to know this, moving forward. Got this, moving forward. And then build up that momentum, like, that's empowering as shit. If you can actually take a step back and acknowledge it. And of course, for me, not only are problems a problem in my life, but then God forbid I actually solve a problem, it's never like, great job, man, you did it. It's always like, thank God. And then just right out the head and on to the next thing, So I think also like having appreciation for like how far you've come or how long you've taken on a situation and seeing the growth from that is important as well, as far as the growth and the learning goes.
So what are you most proud of? If you have this, badass resume of the last 5 years, and every time Derek Woodard comes popping up on the top of that resume,
yeah,
and you go, ick.
Yeah, I think.
What are you most proud of, dude?
I think it's those opportunities I get to kind of do the rewiring bit we talk about a little bit here and there. Is like on the surface, like, this is who I'm wired to be based off past experiences or whatever goes into who I am in the present moment. But like, being able to control emotion and make logical decisions on moving forward is something where I found the most benefit. I know I hit on that before, but I think like, as far as what I'm proud of is those instances where I'm actually able to do that, where I'm able to sit back, take everything in, not act out of emotion or frustration, and then move forward from there. Being able to like, just take a deep breath or calm down, ask questions, listen more, call a friend, call someone who knows better. And like, approaching it logically more than emotionally. I'm definitely an emotional person, but I think those pockets where I found that ability to take the step back, take the deep breaths, and then attack it is something that I'm very proud of.
I think your presentation for this most recent one would be this most recent job would
Yeah.
be something where like, dude, what I told you that day was nothing that you haven't told me on bike rides or
Yeah.
working out together over the last several years. And like all that text message was to you was you.
Yeah.
That was your words
Yeah.
that I just fed to you on a day when emotion could have been, getting the best of you of like, is this what I'm supposed to be for me? This, that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And like, that was all you, man.
Yeah, but that's the confidence you need too, and I appreciate that. But you are right. Like I have shared those, and I knew that wasn't anything that I haven't already thought or believed. But you're right. When emotions are high in that situation, and they can be in problems. Like we can talk about suppressing or managing your emotions, but arguably, like it's going to get the best of you sometimes. There's not one person where they'll experience a problem and not have emotions be high. Like it happens to everybody. But having the ability of a good friend reach out to you with like words like that, or just like, and that's why I think like the journaling or the writing things down, or just being like proud of the accomplishments and acknowledging those accomplishments, or acknowledging the failures and how they brought you to success or whatever it might be. That reminder and that momentum will continue to grow you into the person that you're looking to be.
Yeah, the reason why I brought that up was because I felt like that kind of really slammed home our idea of being a man and being able to be vulnerable with another, man who you might be in competition with,
Yeah.
in hunter-gatherer type style.
Mhm.
But like finding people who like you have your inner circle, you have your outer circle, and you have multiple different circles of how much you allow people to know about you as they get closer. And I think that sometimes people can get too caught up in the emotions that we were talking about to allow those vulnerable times, or get, maybe act out way too heavy on emotion from something to
Yeah.
where like they never once took into consideration what the other person might have been going through, of like, why did I just blow up on that person? And
Right.
it's just like, well, they got their own problems, man, and they're trying to do a bunch of stuff. And like, yeah, it's understandable that maybe someone wasn't there for you when they needed to be, but like, damn, dog, like to even just have people who you can who are in your life who can openly share that's huge in my
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bam. I'm going to insert myself for things I'm proud of at this moment. I would say, to perfectly address the question, I have to acknowledge the ones I'm not proud of. And from
Ooh.
what Derek mentioned, another blind spot, I'm like, emotions interfere. Like when I get too much inside my head to solve a problem, then you're going to start creating problems. And for me, it's like when you start to get those ants, those automatic negative talk, all of those, they start to infiltrate your brain. And it could say that the three of us here we're not going to be working on a car engine, but say that we were. Say that we had that. Then each one of us have our competing interests, and then we're competing with each other like, I know more. No, I know more. No, I know more. No, I know. And then it starts interfering of the element of our patience is wearing thin. And then we might honestly be butting heads on like, I want to be the one who figures it out. And I think in any situation where our emotions are starting to fill up and we're not just having a relationship with the problem directly, and you mentioned isolating it, isolate the things that you want and you need and that are helpful and get rid of the rest, I think is huge. Because in the moments I'm most proud of, it's whenever I'm just the right person, my unique set of skills, no taken reference here, but my unique set of skills and abilities, they make me like a perfect Lego piece to fit right in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I could think of one particular instance. My dad, he's the smartest person I know. And at one moment we were replacing a sway bar, not a link, but a sway bar in a Chevy Impala 2001. And man, he couldn't get it out. I couldn't get it out. And then I think I had just enough patience. But he has more smarts, more experience, more mechanical aptitude. But I think I had the patience in my favor. And I was able to, we already had the old one out. We just needed to get the new one in. And if you know what a sway bar is like, if you guys could picture it, just imagine underneath the car. It's exactly what it sounds like. It keeps your car from moving back and forth. And it's this bent, intentionally bent but symmetrical bar that goes underneath your car that keeps it stable. I don't know how the hell we got that thing in, but I tell you what, I was so impressed. I was like, how the hell did, my dad was impressed. He was like, how the hell did you get that? I was like, I don't know. I just kept moving, making small adjustments here. And it was within like a minute, it was probably like 40 adjustments, not a minute, probably 2 minutes, just 40 different types of adjustments until finally something gave and I found a spot that just enough movements slid right into place. So I find myself most proud. The other one I have to mention is I was working at Rite Aid. RIP Rite Aid. They're about to go out of business. But for Rite Aid, I had a new manager who was working with me, and she didn't have the key to the bathroom. And it's one of those bathrooms that you cannot lock from the outside. There's a little pinhole, there's a flat handle, and then you could turn it. And in order to get that door unlocked, you need the key that's just like a rod. So you need that. And I was like, I'm trying to go home. It's already like 2 minutes past closing time. I got to go. So I grabbed about 5 different things I could possibly use as crude tools. And the thing that worked was a zip tie box end, shoving that in there, a peg hook rod, shove that in there, and I continuously moved until I could finally feel that box slid into a spot. And I was like, no way. Pushed the rod in. I was like, that definitely didn't work. Pulled the handle down and it worked. I was like, it was like by 10:05, we were out of there. And I was like, hell yeah. And that exact moment, you know, there's no like designated area that I've learned how to pick a lock. At least not up to this age. But I've not learned how to pick a lock professionally. But there's enough opportunities I've had where I've been like, grab more than you need. You may, out of like 6 or 7 different tools, maybe one of them or none of them will work. But I had all the patience behind me. I wasn't in my feels. I could have been like nervous, anxious, like we got to go. There could be someone in there. I was like, no, you're just going to have an intimate relationship with this problem right now. And you're going to go to town until it's done. And yeah, I think for me, I'm most proud of whenever I can kind of tunnel vision, separate myself and just be with that exact problem. Usually how problems, they don't work that way. But
Yeah.
if you can afford to slow them down, separate yourself, and then just try to focus on what you have in that moment.
Yeah. Stay in the pocket. Be a quarterback. You're not can't think about the linebacker who's going to blindside you. You'll never throw the football.
Yeah.
You know? Just tunnel vision. Worry about the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely most proud of just being able to stay cool in situations. Like, for instance, like I worked in union contracting. I was a project manager for that, and just the amount of people and bullshit that you deal with inside of mills or stuff, and you got 15, 20 guys on a shift, and there's a bunch of different personalities coming in, different places that they're from, and everyone just starts getting flustered over little tiny things, like being able to stay cool. I will, us learning Premiere Pro together, like, and you coming over here and be like, "It's fucking bullshit. This shit sucks," and it's just like, it does. We're not gonna, we're coming at you, Adobe. I don't care. This is now twice that I said, "Fuck your products." But yeah,
This episode brought to you by Adobe.
this episode edited on Adobe.
Here's a problem, Adobe. Solve it.
So no, I just, keeping cool. I would say, to wrap it out, what is something that you feel you can do better in problem solving? Or is there something that you want to share to help others? And for me, I'll take this one first. Problem solving to me is a delicate dance. And you have to It's going to test your limits, whether that's mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual. And you must take the time and be patient. But also, like, you got to be able to quiet the noise. And my example was, you're sitting in traffic and you got two cars next to you on both sides, and they both got their windows down and they're both blasting their music. So you can hear this one for a couple seconds of lyrics, then you hear this one for a couple seconds of lyrics, and it's just pure chaos around you when all you're trying to do is just relax and get home. And I think that it's so hard to turn down all that noise that you're going to hear emotionally or mentally from needing to accomplish getting home, getting to that final place. Whereas, like, if you can turn off all the noise of all the birds and all of the animals and the wind all around you, you might be able to hear that babbling brook that's going to lead you back into civilization, man.
Hell yeah. Wow. Yeah, I love that. I think for me, like, the focus, or what I would challenge people to do, would be the thing I mentioned earlier, the mentality of removing the why does this keep happening, thoughts that occur, and changing that to, okay, what am I supposed to be learning? Honestly, what is this trying to teach me? I think is the biggest thing. Just because, like, you stay in that loop, that victim mentality loop, that is just it's self I don't know,
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna say self-lubricating, but
I don't know if what I was saying was accurate.
No, that's exactly it. But it is. It's like, well, if you're just gonna sit in the victim mentality, and you're worried about problems happening to you, then, like, they're just going to continue to happen to you. The inevitable point that we're making here is that problems are always going to occur. It's, instead of saying, God damn, look what just happened to me again, it's like, okay, well, how can I learn from this so that next time when this occurs, or I'm found myself in this situation, I can approach it differently? So I think moving forward for the problem-solving side, that's the way I'll be looking at it.
Referencing our last episode, you'd be the developing character, not the weak character.
Yeah, slash.
Yeah.
Slash, yeah. What about you, Brandon?
I think mine's going to kind of play off of previously what I'd mentioned. I think I got to learn the terrain. I got to try to be better about preparation, mostly about habits. And I don't know if we've used this word. I thought we'd use it in either episode we shot today, but systems. And, like, I've seen a lot of both of you systems, but I've got to see and admire a lot of your systems that I see, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm jealous of your brain. I don't understand. Like, my brain, people say I have OCD because I do in certain areas, but I'm like, yeah, I need to work on my systems and try to make it so that I can learn a lot of the terrain, whether that be mechanical aptitude or that be like social aptitude, whether that's like emotional intelligence, social intelligence. I like to think that I'm high on those, but there's so much room for improvement. But I would like to, for my problem solving ability, learn more about the problem solving systems that you could put in place in the preparation, and to cut down on a term surgeons use, decision fatigue. Like, if you don't have as much decision fatigue, then your, like, ability to solve complex problems could be so much more. So I would like to cut down on a lot of decision fatigue, make myself familiar with the terrain, and systems on how problems are often solved.
Dude, you said decision fatigue, and that just struck a nerve with me. Like, my God.
That's what I mean. I don't go after him for a reason on shit like this. Like, that's like, all right, see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
And yet I can't keep my iPads charged up enough to get through an episode.
But I love that, because, like, that's, for me, that sticks out. Like, the same thing you said, like a sore thumb. It's just like, cool. Like, if I just, like, when this occurs, this is how I handle it, and I don't stray away from that, then I don't have to sit there and think about it. It's an action. It's a do. It's not a think. It's a do. So that just alone, it's just a reaction. It's not just I got to think about this. Oh, I got to let it fester. I got to think of all the possibilities. No, it's when this type of situation arises, this is how I handle it. No questions asked.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy. I have that set up for different things at work. why don't you translate it to your personal life, Brandon? I'm like,
Because you don't get paid to do it.
yeah. It's funny. I was like looking towards more like self-respect. I'm like, oh, you respect your job more than you respect yourself. That's kind of fucked up.
No, if I got paid to solve my problems, I'd do it.
But yeah, so I guess I have a problem to solve. Respect yourself more than you respect work, man. Come on.
Come on.
It's 2025. Grow up.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Integrity.
Intention.
Integrity.
Tension. Awareness.
Accountability.
All right, get me out of the boiler room, bro.
There's a $14 hook.
Oh, jeez.
That one got me.
Oh.
All right. So this was an absolutely fantastic episode on problem solving. Why is listening so important? For many reasons. And my final thing to this episode would be the story of Assume. Now, when you have not heard this story before, it'll just slap you right in the face. If you assume, you will make an ass out of you and me. And when you assume that someone when someone moved the backpack back on top of the vent, you make an ass out of yourself in the middle of the podcast, whatever, It's that the fact that there's 3 grown men inside of a small room.
It is 80
with
degrees in here.
Studio lighting all blown on us right now, and just the fact that we are grown, large industrial men. It's
Costco size, man.
Yeah, Costco size men. Don't ever assume, and allow yourself that time to see through those distractions and the noise from me. As we always say, I'll give these guys one last. You guys got anything?
No.
Develop a
he's
relationship
cooking.
with that problem. Get intimate with it, yo.
He's
Good
cooking.
behavior. Lubricate that problem.
Lubricate that problem.
All right, y'all. This was a fantastic episode again. We got Brandon. We got Titty. We got Derek. We got Derry. We got myself, Zach. And as we always say here, don't trust us. Trust yourself, because you got all the answers, man. We're just filling you in with a bunch of bullshit. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Later.
Don't hesitate to catch the gang's next release. Episode 46, Growth. Bonsai or bamboo? Whoa. Okay. We're going to give you 2 of the outline questions that the guys journaled on before this one. Sneak peek. Question number 1. Grow up. How old is too old to be acting like a child? What ways do you think it's healthy or unhealthy? Question number 2. In what ways are you most proud of your growth? So the gang ends up finishing this episode with talking about their own personal descriptions of what they think of when it comes down to a bonsai or a bamboo. What do you guys think? What's your thoughts on a bonsai and how a bonsai grows? And then what are your thoughts on a bamboo and how bamboo grows? And how do those relate to the people that you've experienced in your life, the ways that you've grown yourself, and the things that you want to do as you can continue to develop and grow during this life? We'll catch you guys on the next one. We appreciate you guys as always tuning in. Take care.